exactly. Looks very similar. Alright. See my new Sega Saturn I got today. I'm so proud of this. This is now going to be a centerpiece of my Sega collection that I'm amassing. And I want to get all 3 Genesis, and I want to get a Master. Anyway, why the atheist community collapsed. People need to understand what happened. Yes, SJWs, the cry bullies, the perpetually oppressed, the professional victims, the people that make money off crying, sexism and harassment, the people that infiltrate groups that are having fun and leaving people alone and doing their own thing, and then they force themselves into the table and they say everything that's going on here is sexist and homophobic and wrong. We used to call them spoil sports, and we didn't invite them to parties. But the internet is not a party. Everybody's invited, unfortunately. So they've spewed their spoil sport nonsense, and they've really just been toxic to communities across the internet, including the atheist community. It's very important to understand that they were not the reason why the atheist community collapsed. They were the symptom of the reason why they were collapsing. So let's march back, 6-7 years or whatever. You had a strong atheist community. They called it New Atheism, that was following the 4 horsemen and this and that. And it was basically Sam Harris, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens, and that other guy, Bill Bennett, or what? Anyway, Bennett. Yeah, I wasn't well versed in his work, but the idea was simple. With the power of the internet and technology, we could start just assaulting and lambasting every single day. And you should do this. If you're listening to me, you should do this. It is your duty as a human being to do this, to try to make the world a better place. If you come across a religion or a superstition or a belief system of any kind, and you see that it's woo and it's garbage and it's bullshit and there's no evidence for it, it is your duty as a human being to try to make the world a better place by challenging it and attacking it and showing its flaws and weaknesses. The reason why this worked was because the Christians at that time were so eager to debate these stupid atheists that just didn't understand. And we the atheists on YouTube, just started mopping the floor with them, making them look ridiculous, because you don't have evidence of anything supernatural. You don't have evidence of anything supernatural. So when we talk about your book and your God and your angels and your demons, we go, where? And you can't show it to us. We always have the high ground in this argument, because at the end of the day, every single thing a religious person is saying is just assertions of pie-in-the-sky ideas. They have no evidence whatsoever for their belief system. The only thing that they can do is be like, well, look here in history, this sort of lines up with this mythology story in my book, therefore, this story happened. No, that's not what that means. It doesn't mean that the story in your mythology book happened. It just means that the mythology book was written around that time period, so that there would have been some crossover information there. But I digress from the point. The reason why the atheist community collapsed is because it started off all, we're going to attack religion, And the new up-and-coming generation was watching that on YouTube, and they were watching our videos, and they were seeing that the religious people were full of crap, and they didn't have any evidence to back up their claims. Meanwhile, we had all these, fossils and radiometric dating, and, all the evidence, right, on our side. So it was bubbling up and becoming a movement, a community, and a really thriving online arena. And so 2 things happened that was the catalyst that brought in the illness that is the SJW rot of the atheist community. And that is, number one, we did not offer an alternative, a proactive alternative. Yeah, sure, the atheist community come in and bust up this belief system, bust up that belief system, and say, Islam is wrong, Christianity is wrong, Hinduism is wrong, these are all wrong. There we go, done for the day, turn off the camera. You can't do that. You've got to give people an alternative. Yeah, okay, so if they've been pulling their morality, right, from Christianity for all their lives, and you come along and you pull that rug out from under them and say, ha ha ha, the rug doesn't actually exist, it's just fake. Well, now they're in free fall, and they don't know where to turn, and they don't know what to do, and they don't know what kind of person they should be. So it's your duty to try to give them an alternative. Carl Sagan was very good at that. He taught people that it's okay to just wander and explore with your mind and be curious and forever try. Kurt Vonnegut said it. Always be becoming something. Always be evolving. Always be learning. Always be teaching. Always be becoming better. Always be practicing. Because that's what a human is. And another reason why the community collapsed was because, you know, the Christians who were eager to just jump in and be like, yeah, I'm going to debate these silly atheists, they figured out real fast that they were butt into the joke, and they were the ones that was looking like idiots because they have no evidence of their claims. So they retreated behind their walls. Now you go and you look at people like, you know, Nephilim Free or whatever. He now sits in his Google Chat hangout room where he is the ultimate banhammer. And if you ever say anything that's a good point against his nonsense or his garbage, he just bans you. Then he just declares, yeah, I won. By doing this, he only has 4 to 6 people in his room at any given time, but he still, at the end of the night, walks away going, yeah, yes. Well, once again, no atheist was able to refute anything I have to say because I just banned them whenever they started to. They've retreated behind their superstition. They have become intellectually dishonest weasels. They know that they can't come out and see the light of logic and reason because they'll burn up like vampires. So now they just sit in the dark corners of their controlled comments and moderated sections of the internet, and they don't really engage the atheists anymore. So what did the atheists start doing? They just started, I don't know, tinkering around with video games and this or that, blah, blah, blah. So the united front that was empiricism, logic, reasoning, the scientific method, pushing back against religiosity in America and the world in general, because the internet goes worldwide, kind of came to a crawl. It kind of came to a stop. Meanwhile, because the community was starting to become disjointed, and we didn't really have those vigorous, constant debates going on with Christians like Eric Hovind and all that. And that's when the SJWs came in, and they started their whole atheism plus. We need to do social justice as part of atheism, and that's just, I mean, you can argue that atheism leads to humanism, and humanism needs to deal with social justice, but to you know, coming to atheist and agnostic conferences and being like, oh, I feel oppressed because there was a woman over there that had bigger boobs than me, and that offends me, so now I want a code of conduct that says you can't show cleavage. I mean, it's just, everything got ridiculous, and everything got crazy, and so everybody was like, well, we're not really going to go to these atheist meetings and these atheist conferences anymore. But here's my thought of the day, and here's the takeaway from this video. if we want the atheist community to come back and to make a surging return and to come back to the glory that it once was and to get the type of views that we used to get and the type of activity that we used to get, we need to concentrate on two things. We need to concentrate on attacking religion. Attacking. Remember, you have the truth, they don't. They just have made up bullshit. And two, give them an alternative. Don't just take away their belief system and make them feel like they're stupid or they're lesser people. And then once you rip that belief system away, they feel hollow and they don't know where to turn. Give them a humanist perspective, a transhumanist perspective to turn to. Give them a new belief system of science and human prosperity and loving humanity and wanting to help out humans, because that's already should be compatible with what they were striving to do through religion. And if they were not striving to be that way through religion, then they're a lost cause anyway, and they just need to be shunned for being, not part of this whole collective thing that we call modern liberal society, where we're trying to be free people with free speech so that we can pursue our dreams and goals in life. So just remember, attack religion. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to start doing it more often on my channel because it's kind of fun to do. But yeah, we also need to also push a humanist message of loving togetherness for all people. I mean, this is really what the SJWs claim that they want, but they're in no way for, and in no way do they help this happen. But we, the atheists, the humanists, we have a duty to our fellow man to promote inclusiveness, regardless of race or gender. Human inclusiveness in our modern liberal society. I mean, I want you to have your Star Trek future where you can pursue whatever dream you want. And you should want the same for me. I want you to have a long, prosperous life. And you should want the same for me. Yes, we can get mad at individual humans from time to time and dislike them and really shun them and want them to just burn in a fire because we're so mad. But at the end of the day, we need to calm our minds and realize they're just a human being just like you. They're going through this life just like you. They have unique experiences that have led them to believe different things and different conclusions. They're not your enemy. You could search 100 billion galaxies and not find a single human. So the humans that we have here on Earth, that's all that we've got. And they're precious, each and every one of them. And we need to remember that. And we need to promote that as an ideology along with skepticism and reason and critical thinking. Thank you. I'm David Brantley, Executive Director for Organizing for Humanity, and thank you for watching this series. I had a commenter challenge me to make a video about Paul Krugman, the economist, Nobel Prize winning economist, and that video will be coming out probably tomorrow or this week. Thanks for watching.